Hey guys, it's me, Nikki motherfucking New Hope, aka Daddy Issues, and you're probably here because you have a few. And if you have a few, you're probably a lot like me, to where my power just went out the whole neighborhood. And instead of waiting for it to come on, instead of being okay with candles, I mean, I was trying to look through the spell candles and decide which ones of those could be useful perhaps, but I instead start calling people by their government names. I don't wait for no man. I immediately get my shoes on. I immediately get my warm jacket on, and I go to fucking Home Depot and I get the job done, and I buy me a couple Ryobi fucking lanterns that can also charge the phone, because you know what? That's the important things in life, okay? Fuck a candle. I'm one of them type of bitches, okay? I thought that my whole shit was gonna be down for like a long time. Obviously, you see it's back on. It took about 5 minutes of me being back home, trying to put batteries and shit. We didn't need to know that. That's not a whole thing to know. So now that the lights went out in Georgia, I tell you a little scary story in case your power is out. You've got a phone charger handy that plugs into something like a Ryobi lantern. No, this is not sponsored, but it should be. We're gonna go back to a time when I was super toxic and super confused about most everything. And my way of thinking was way off, way different than it is now. This was years and years ago, at least 5 or 6 years ago. Different person, don't know that person, but I do remember the story, okay? This is one of the many stories in a long list of stories about an ex that that is named Eric, that we've named Eric in my TikTok channel, okay? Eric and I met. He was a client. It was his first time. We fell in love, madly in love. Fell in love so much so that, well, he's Gemini and I'm Leo, and so it was always very, very passionate in love, in sex, and beating the shit out of each other, and playing mind games. Challenge accepted, okay? I like a challenge. That right there was a fucking challenge, okay? Too much of a challenge. So in the course of us being together, he went from not knowing shit about it, not wanting anything to do with it, to letting me make my money. When I first met him, I offered him, I'm like, hey, would you drive me? I didn't have a car at the time. To do out calls every now and then, and I'll pay you, you know, like 50 bucks or whatever. And I would do like 3 or 4 calls in a night. So it made sense, okay, for me and for him. And then it eventually grew into something. I was still keeping my money and everything, and I was still paying him for when he would drive me and everything. It grew to where I moved in with him, and we were very in love with each other. And then he started becoming kind of skewed, and I think it was because he said that he could handle something that he really could not, and I think that he wanted to be able to handle it. I think he tried to be able to handle it, but in the end he could not handle it, and then he couldn't admit that he couldn't handle it because he was already in too deep. So he was trying to find a way to cope with things, and he tried various ways of coping with these things, which we'll talk about later, and all of them obviously failed, because if you're not into something, it's not you, it's not going to be you, okay? And that's fine. That's absolutely fine, but you got to learn to say when. So one of his coping mechanisms ended up being him taking what I taught him, because naturally, when you're in a relationship with a hoe, and when you drive first, before the relationship, I'm naturally going to spew information, whether you ask for it or whether you don't. Explain things in great detail, whether you ask for it or not, if I'm around you enough. Especially if we are very intimate like that, then it's like, it becomes like just like any other job. Like I would, like, if I was a fucking daycare provider, I would talk to you about the shitty kids all day. He listened to everything. That's one thing about him. He listened to everything, and he stored it in his brain. We broke up so many times, like, and we were never like broken up. Like, we both knew we were gonna get back together, but we would like break up for like the day or the week or whatever, which I would always go to a hotel and make money, or I would go to Roman's house or whatever. So he would, during these times of me being gone, I try to come up with new ways to make money that employed things he learned from me. And doing this, first he started off by, I was like, you know, I felt bad at one point, and I'm like, hey, I bought a bunch of these Kylie lip kits, knockoff ones, of course, when those first came out. So those were actually hella lucrative to sell, even though they're knockoffs. Selling for like 20 bucks a piece. Bitches wanted these fucking things. They were sold out. Like, I made a lot of money off of them. I'm like, I'm sorry, don't arrest me, whatever, it's in the past, you can't prove it. So first, I let him have a box of those, and I was like, here, try to push these. Who am I gonna push them to? Well, you know, go down the list of Backpage and bitches and text them and offer it to them and see if, I mean, they're probably stuck in their hotels, half of them. They got money. I mean, if you drive it to them, they'll probably buy a few of them. And that's what he started doing. And in doing that, he then got the idea to, hey, let me ask these bitches while I serve them like makeup, essentially, whether then they want narcotics or whether they would like me to drive them. In doing so, he found one bitch. We're gonna call her Nancy Noon. We're gonna call her Nancy Noon, okay? She let him drive her. And to me, when it was told to me, when he told me that, oh yeah, he's driving her, he dressed it up like all wannabe pimps or all people, men in general, they do. They pump shit up, they throw dubs on everything. They make it extra, especially if they're trying to get under your skin or get a reaction out of you. He was like, yeah, she's paying me $100 per drive. Like, it's not even like that. Like, you know, but I know that I could turn it into something like that. Like, I'm sure I could, like, end up being her P. And I'm, like, not okay with this, okay? Obviously, never have been. I'm like, the fuck you are, bro? Like, what are you talking about right now? Like, no. And psychotic me, 6 years ago. I want to say it was longer than that, but it wasn't. But I'm a whole new person now. A whole new me. And he would say things about it that got under my skin on purpose, even though that probably wasn't even happening. That probably wasn't even the case. I believed it because at the time I believed most everything, especially from him, because he would never lie to me because he loves me. One time he was like, hey, you know, because I was like, I don't want to do this anymore with you. Like, I'm done. Like, it's too much for me. I'm over it. And he's like, no, come over right now. And I'm like, no, I'm tired. I'm over it. And he's like, fine, then I'm gonna go drive her then. I don't even need you to come over. And I was like, oh really, bitch? I'm in my car right now though, so how about that? I'm on my way to your apartment. Let's see if your car is there, and if it's not, I'm gonna find you. Like a psychopath. And I'm gonna try to keep this as monetizable as possible. So I drive to his apartment, like, bet, your car better be outside. I know your gate code, it better be outside. Get there, car's not outside. Car's not there. He's not there. Walked up to his apartment, he's not there. So I'm like, okay, motherfucker, where the fuck are you? He says, oh, I'm working. I'm at a job. I'm driving her, Nancy Noon, driving her. And I'm like, if I know hoes and the caliber of hoes, and I do know hoes, I do be knowing hoes, I know that you're on fucking Jaboom. If you know anything about Sacramento, you know what I'm talking about. And so I drove fucking way too fast to Jaboom. And bitch, I wasn't lying when I told you I know hoes, because I drive, it's basically all little motels, little scummy motels, and then 2 gas stations, and you round the corner and it's little scummy motels and gas stations. It's at the end of Richards Boulevard. My blood's fucking boiling. I get off the freeway by the McDonald's. I turn left and I'm like, I know I'm gonna find this stupid ass over here because he's not fucking smart. You know, how does he not know that I know hoes? Turn the corner and sure as fucking shit, there's his car. And not only there is his car, but he's also going and pulling into a motel parking lot that only has one way in and one way out. You go in and out both the same way. It's very small, and it's a very small parking lot. And so I get up on his ass all the way to where, like, it's like bumper to bumper, and he was in his brand new Lexus, and I was in my, I don't know, I had an Avalon. I didn't give a shit, okay? I'm telling you, I didn't give one fuck. I pull up on him, I whip it, pull up on him, bumper to bumper. As I had already planned this in my head, like, since getting off freeway, especially since getting in the car, like, seeing the car in my peripheral. I don't know if when he saw me, and I took my seatbelt off way before that. I knew I was gonna put it in park while opening the door, so I could run out and run to her door and open it as fast as I could before he could, like, either grab me away from her or lock the door on me. So I did that. Like, I had already took my seatbelt off before I fucking got on his bumper. When I got on his bumper, I threw it in park hella fast while opening the door. The door was already halfway open. I run out and I fucking go directly to her door, which is the passenger door. And I fucking go to open it. And right as I go to open it, he grabs me from behind. And he's like, wait. And then he locks the, and then either she locked the door or he locked the door. I don't know. But the door was locked after that. Because he's little. Like, so I was like, no, fuck that. Let me the fuck go. Fuck her. Get the fuck off of me. Don't fucking hold on to me. Fuck this bitch. Like, let her say her piece then. Let her, what the fuck are you doing in my dude's car? What the fuck are you doing? Did I say that you could? Did I say that you could? Like, did you ask me permission, bitch? What the fuck are you doing? Playing with fire? Like, do you want these hands? Like, right now? Because, like, you're looking fucked up. Like, already. Like, you're in this part. I'm blowing up your spot. You got a room here? Hope you don't. Because pretty sure it's gonna be bad for you. You're gonna have to go stay someplace else. And I don't give a fuck. You wanna know why? Because I'm not staying here, bitch. On and on and on. She's like, I didn't even have anything to do with this. He didn't even tell me that he had a girlfriend. Like, through the window, though. Still hella scary. Now all his doors are locked because he's got the lock key thing. And I'm like, bro, Eric, I'm going to smash into your car. I'm going to get back into my car and I'm going to smash into your car. I'm going to smash in your car. Get that bitch out the fuck out of your car. Tell her to walk wherever the fuck she has to go. Right motherfucking now. And I will promise you that I will not run her over if you tell her to go right now. And so that's what she did. She got her big bird ass out. Big bird ass goes walking across the parking lot with her shit. And I'm just like, yeah, bitch. That's what I fucking thought, bitch. And then I'm like, oh, these people that own this motel, because it's one way in, one way out, like one level, like fucking small ass motel, like they're probably gonna call the cops. Like, I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here now. So I bailed and I went back to my motel. Not motel, hotel. I went back to the Red Lion. That's how old the story is. After that, after I went back to the hotel or whatever, he texts me, oh, that was so hot. You were down to, like, fight for me. Like, I'm hella turned on, yada, yada, yada. My stupid fucking ass. I was like, yeah, okay, you can come over to the hotel. Like, yeah, you can come over and, like, you know, slide up in between these fucking cheeks. And then I'll go home with you like a dumb fuck. And we'll play this all out again next week. So literally a week goes by and he starts a fight. You know how dudes start a fight with you for no fucking reason because they want to go out and do something that they already have planned, but they don't want to feel guilty for it, or they want an excuse to like get away from you so they can go do it. So they pick a fight, a fake fight. It was all the rage. It's still all the rage. They do it. Your boyfriend's probably done it to you a few times, you just haven't noticed. And so he started this fake fight with me, and so he takes off and I'm like, what are you doing? Where are you? What the fuck? Because I checked the bar and you're not at the bar, and there's like two places you go, and that's the bar and that's home, and that's it. And you're not either of those places, and now you're not trying to answer my calls. And so, like, do you think that I'm stupid? Because I will check every last hotel in Sacramento and you will be at one of them. Maybe not the last one I caught you at, but she'll be at one of them. I have nothing but time, so I keep on calling like a psychopath, which I will never do again in life for any man. No, sir, sorry, you've got it wrong. If you were hoping for that with me, nope. Not gonna happen. Never in life again will I be psychotic over any man. Maybe a woman. Never tried that before. But not a man. If you're in that phase right now, get the fuck over it. Now, while you have time, before you get any charges. Save yourself the pity and the grief. I swear to God, you might feel like you love him. You don't. It goes away. Give yourself a couple weeks. Promise you. I start calling repeatedly, feeling like it's the end of my world, end of my life. Like, what is he doing? Like, crying. Like, oh my God. This man has this bitch answer the fucking phone. His phone. Now, why would you do that unless you wanted me to do something crazy? I'm just wondering. And she's like, it's not even like that. He just drove me. I'm like, then bitch, why is he still here then? And she's like, because you're acting like a psycho. And I'm like, bitch, watch when I fucking find you. His dumbass left with my phone on him. My phone. My iPhone on him. I have two iPhones. One for work, one for like regular purposes. He is dumb and left with my phone on him. And all it took was for I find my iPhone, just, you know, it lags a little bit. It doesn't do anything immediately. It took about literally a half an hour to finally be like, iPhone found or whatever, which is like way too long if you ask me. Sure as shit, I kept on calling just so that it would look like nothing was wrong. Like I was still sitting there being psychotic. Like they could just still sit there and laugh at me, like, and have me, you know, and think that I don't know where the fuck they are. You know what I mean? Still just while I'm driving to the hotel that it shows that they're at, which was the Best Western, which is a really weird hotel in Sacramento, because basically the first level of everything is the parking garage, and then everything else is on top of that. So it's kind of strange. I'm driving there, still blowing his phone up, but not really paying attention to whether he's answering or not. I don't give a fuck. So I get to the hotel, I pull in the parking lot. Like I said, it's the first level, so it's almost like it's underground. You park in front of or next to like a lot of concrete, like cinder block thing, like type of deal. Like it's a lot of, I mean, you could easily fuck a lot of shit up in a little short amount of time if you really wanted to. I find his Lexus, like I told you, at the time it was his baby, his love of his life, like whatever. And so I whip up behind the Lexus, block it in to where he can't fucking move it, because all that's in front of him is a brick wall. Hop out my car, go in my trunk, and I grab my aluminum bat, and then I FaceTime his bitch ass. And I say bitch ass because I'm like really I'm really trying to embody the feelings of the moment, okay? And I'm like, you see this aluminum bat? Take a guess where I am. I'm gonna give you 3 fucking seconds to tell me your motherfucking room number before I start beating the ever-living fuck out of this car and breaking every amount of window, mirror, fucking light, fucking anything, everything, all of it. Ask me if I give a fuck. There's cameras. Where are they gonna find me at? Huh? They promptly gave me the room number. The way this motel works is you have to take an elevator up to the lobby, and then once you get to the lobby, there's like a desk. It's hella derelict. Like, don't recommend staying Best Western downtown ever at all. And I'd never stayed there, so I didn't know how all of this worked, but it didn't work in my favor as far as, like, you know, running in and out of shit. Like, and so you take an elevator or I guess there's a stairs option, I don't know, elevator up to the lobby, and then there's the front desk guy right there, just smack right there, like, hey, how you doing? And I'm just like, and he's like, can I help you? And I'm like, nope, I'm good. Run right past him, because I know, like, I'm looking at the signs where the room numbers are and everything. Run right past him and find the room number, and I just start like, not even knocking, just fucking full-blown donkey kicking the fucking door to where that's like breaking the fucking, so I'm donkey kicking this fucking door. She's like screaming inside, tell her to stop, I have to live here. And I'm like, bitch, I don't care, I fucking don't. And so I'm donkey kicking the door, and I'm like, open the fucking door then. And you can hear him say, okay, stop, and I'll open it. And I'm like, okay, I give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, he opens it. I start taking off on him. Pow, 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 slapping him as hard as I fucking could. And this is not, I'm not condoning violence on anyone. Don't ever put your hands on anybody. It is not my place. It was not my place. It was not, it's not, nobody should do that to anyone. Nobody should do that to anyone. But I was pissed, and he had already crossed that line with me a whole bunch of times. And so then it's just an unspoken whole rule. Like, if I'm gonna fuck with you and contribute to anything, like, we're gonna share our lifestyle, I'm gonna pay any amount of the rent. It's just an unspoken whole rule. I'm gonna pay for your meal ever. It's just, you're mine. You need to, there's a politics thing and like a hierarchy thing, and there's just like, or at least that's the way it used to be, okay? There's a lot of shit. So I started taking off on him, and she's like, you know, stop it or whatever. She like tries to get in the middle of it, and she's like, it wasn't even like that. And I'm like, bitch, take 10 steps back. 10 steps back, bitch, because it's about to be you. You're lucky I have sense enough to know that it ain't your fault, that it is his, but I'll make it your fault in about 2 more fucking words. Let 2 more words come out of your fucking mouth, I swear to God. I don't give a fuck if your bitch ass is 8 feet fucking tall or not. Eventually, I calmed down somehow, like, just mildly, because I was like, the standoff, like, so what are we gonna do now? Are you leaving now? Or am I beating the fuck out of your car as I get out, walk the fuck out of this place, and I'm never talking to you again? Like, your choice. And she did say 2 more words, because she's like, do you want to take a hit of my bong? Let me paint this picture for you. Pretend it was a peace and love bong, which it wasn't. This bitch was not only duct taped, bitch, but also had toothpaste on it for some reason to cover some hole or something. I don't fucking know what the deal was. I just looked in disgust and I was just like, fucking bitch, what did I tell you about talking? The fuck did I tell you about talking? So I'm like, all right, just wanted to blow up your spot. I'm gonna go tell the manager downstairs, which you should never do this either. And I really didn't tell him. This was just me bluffing or just trying to scare her. Like, I'm just gonna go alert the manager downstairs and I'll be on my happy ass way out the fuck of your lives. This went on. I sent this bitch on dry runs where she took Ubers to these dry runs. She never fucking questioned it. I'm not proud of this shit, like I told you. Like, nowadays I would never do this shit, but like then I did. Like, I had it out for this bitch. I would send her on dry runs to hella far away and she'd be like, are you sure? Like, I'd do the most to convince her. She would take an Uber all the way there and she'd be like, I don't even have any money to get back and now you're not answering the door and da-da-da-da, and I'd be laughing my ass off. Like, yeah, fucked up now. I look back on it, but like at the time. Then this bitch, like, cause the hotel was always the Red Lion Inn. It was always the Red Lion Inn. Like, that's always been my hotel, like, because of various reasons. Like, it was always my favorite hotel. This bitch gets a room there for a week. And I'm like, how the fuck is this bitch get, you know what I mean? And it's because he told her about it. So then we had some falling out to where, because he swore up and down I'd never done with anything with her. I never would. Like, it was all just driving and all this shit, right? So somehow it ends up like 3 weeks later or something. I'm at the Red Lion Inn. I catch wind of her being at the Red Lion Inn because I saw her. I had texted from like a fake number and I was like, oh yeah, how long are you staying there? And she was like, a week. And I'm just like, how the fuck? Ended up playing her because, you know, she wasn't, the me that I was acting like in front of her wasn't gonna get her to tell me anything. But if I acted like her friend, she would. I knew that much. So I started texting her and I was like, hey, listen, girl, I'm so sorry about our past. Like, it's so dumb to fight over a man or a boy or whatever. Like, us hoes needs to stick together. And this is what I believe now. But like, I didn't believe it at the time. I was straight lying. And I was like, you know, and like, I'm like, my bad. Like, I just really want to get over this and I just really need some closure. So like, anything that you could tell me that could help me with move on and stuff, like, and just, you know, get over this person because he's really bad for me, he's bad for you, he's bad for all of us. Like, just, you know, if anything happened, because he's telling me that nothing did, just, I mean, it would really help me move on, you know, with my life. If you were to tell me the truth, I'd really appreciate it, you know. And she told me, yeah, she did. She fell for that one. And she was like, yeah, well, I did suck his dick the first time. And I was like, in my head, I still didn't believe her, bitch. I still didn't believe her. All I did was flip out on him for a while. The relationship had lasted way too long after this. But yeah, we ended up still hating each other because whatever had transpired, I was like, haha, bitch, I got you. Like, I fucking lied to you. Fuck you. Like, and she got on the boards and started making up lies about me, to which I always owned on the boards. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm shutting you fucking down. I don't care if you're telling the truth. I don't care if you're telling a lie. I don't care what the fuck. When we were on the boards, bitch, I owned. I ended every, you ain't talk shit on me. Nope. Because I'll make you look dumb as fuck. I miss the forums. I do. They're a happy place in my heart. I'll have to make a video showing you what the forums used to be like. So that's our little campfire story, even though it's not a campfire anymore because the power came on. Drop a like, hit the notification bell, subscribe for more stories like this because I've got a whole fucking list of them. I'm just trying to decide which ones, which order to tell them in that makes the most sense to people, because, you know, whether I should tell them in like by person, like, okay, here's everything that I know about this person and all the stories that transpired with them, or whether I should tell them in chronological order, whether I should tell them in just like any fucking order, whether I should tell them in order of like what can be monetized and what can't be monetized. I don't fucking know. But the whole list of them, you should subscribe. If you don't, you'll still watch, you'll still look me up. you'll still watch. And eventually you'll subscribe, so you might as well do it now. I'm not pressuring you. Nobody likes to be pressured. It's fine. You don't have to if you don't want to. But until next time, bye bitches. Hope you work on your daddy issues as I'm trying to too. Nikki New Hope out.